When I came here and for my first training, I was only maybe even the first 2-3 weeks. I was only watching the training to see what quality the players had. It was new to me. I knew only a few players, and so I had to observe them mainly, and from there make my conclusions about Wisła. And after that period, I started also looking at other teams. At the beginning, I only looked at Wisła. Only what is the potential of my players, and I could not say if we could be champion with this team. You know, everybody was saying we could not. And then after a few weeks, I also started looking at other teams, and I thought, okay, maybe we can do this. I have a lot of belief in the way I work, and I know that I can make a team out of individual players. So I knew that we could book progress on any way, and well, everybody said we had good individual players. So if I could make it a team, then we could have success. But you know, the goal was being champion. So I never thought differently. I always only thought, okay, we work to be champion, and that's it. I expected that a team as Wisła Kraków, who was champion a lot of times in the last 10 years, that we would win games easier against the small teams, and that it only would be the championship between maybe Legia, maybe Lech, and for other teams I didn't think they would compete for the championship. But this year it's totally different. I mean, every team can win, and look at the big surprises, like for example Jagiellonia, but also Śląsk, Górnik Zabrze, Lechia Gdansk. It was very, very difficult to be on top of the league. So yeah, absolutely. I thought it was going to be easier to win games, and after a while, when I knew this, of course, I started analyzing even our other teams even more and better, and that also paid off in results. I think it was after Górnik Zabrze when we played an away game, but it could also been 1 week before that against Belgatov. And that was also around the moment when we started changing the tactics a little bit, where I thought it would be better to play like this. We had a lot of possession every game, and but we did not do enough with it. If you just see how many crosses we gave, for example, how many times we were in front of the goal of our opponents, but we didn't score a goal. So we had to change something to make this happen, and the changing point was at home against Lechia Gdansk, where we scored 5 goals. It was a very open game, and since then things were getting better. We only lost 1 game after that against Lech, and then we made the very good series who finally decided the championship. There were a few moments. The training camp in Zakopane in the beginning of the season was very important, where we told the players what to do. That is a game. It happened in a game, the moment, but especially what happened after the game was very important for the team, and that was the first time that we were not individual players, but really acted as a team, and that was after the game against Cracovia, when Bukhari scored in the last minute. We came into the dressing room, and that was the biggest party I have ever seen in a dressing room. That was bigger than being champion, maybe even. And everybody was together, everybody was singing. That was absolutely a very important moment. And the third moment was the training camp in Turkey. In Spain we did a lot of work. We lost 3 times. We got a lot of goals against us. And then the new players came in Spain. Everybody was together, and things started working out. Everybody was getting the training what we wanted, the way we wanted to play, and that came back in results again. So that was also a very important training camp. It even helped us, because people were saying on TV and in newspapers, that Wisła was not a team, and that brought us together even more, because it was we knew it was not true. I mean, everybody's seen and everybody was there in the locker room when we were celebrating together, and just a single moment on the field, because I saw this moment also. I saw this moment, and it was only there were a few foreign players together at that moment, but it was not like because of that they didn't want to talk to Polish players. Of course not. But at that moment, on the bench, everybody was also very happy, and there were a few more Polish players on the bench. They were together. But in the locker room, everybody got together. So sometimes you can use the media also in this, when they're saying things that are just not true. Losing against Górnik Zabrze. Especially in the away game, because that was a moment where if we would have gotten a point, it would have been easier. The players were putting in so much work at that time, and we were just not getting results, even though that we were, most of the times we were the better team. But in Górnik, or in Zabrze, it was a very bad game. And that could have been a moment where the everything could have gone down. But everybody put trust in the way of the way I was working. We talked about it with everyone, and that was also the turning point a little bit. But that was a tough moment, absolutely. And of course, being knocked out of the cup by podsumowująca. I mean, 2-0. There was 25 minutes to play. We were by far the better team. There was no worries at all. And then 2 free kicks, and you get knocked out of the cup. That was also a bad moment for me personally. I don't think the cup was so important, the Puchar Polski. But for me, I came here to win prizes, and I would like to win every prize that there is. That I don't care. It's about being the best team in the league. And if other teams are also strong, which this season is like this, then you should be still the strongest team. It's been a tough season. Like I said, everybody can beat each other. We know we can book progress. We know we can still do better than we did. But I think if you tell those people, the same people who say this, then now they only look at the numbers. But they have to look at the real situation. Wisła built a new team. There is 9 new players coming into the team. Nobody expected us to be champion. And I think if you talk about this and you think about this, that it's a great achievement of everyone. And yes, maybe we have lesser points than we did. But I heard about the same stories when Wisła had 25 points more than the number 2. And then everybody said, yeah, because we just have a bad league. So it's always something, and the media will always try to find something to write about. I prefer to stay positive and see the positive things of the Polish league, of the Polish Ekstraklasa, and of course about our beautiful club. That is my style of working. I just want to win every game. I also did this with smaller teams. Of course, then it's more easy because you don't really have to. But it's when I came here, I knew we have to win every game, and when you have to play for the championship, you should handle this pressure. So that was my style of working, and I always said this to the players also. There's no excuses. If you lose in Slonsk, even though we had 90% of the ball, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's always nice that you get some support from your own fans, of course. But to me, it's not very important. I prefer that the team is being supported, and to me, it's not so much about an individual who is taken out. Because if they sing for me, they also sing for my staff. That depends on who we're going to play. If we play against a team in the qualification first round, we're probably going to be a little bit stronger, and you need to play a better position game. Not just to say Barcelona style, because that is another league, like I said. But you have to play a good position game to create chances. If you play against stronger teams, of course we have to adjust, and that is also why I want to work on 3 different systems which we can play And we have to do this in the pre-season. We already tried a little bit against Legia, but of course then we got a red card and he had to play with 10 men. But I think there's a good chance that we can have 3 systems in Wisła, 3 tactical systems which we can use against any team and against any opponent. Well, what is very important is that it's the details. That you, for example, if you see how we lost the penalty and the red card for Sergej Parijko, that Erik Sikos is making a big mistake. You cannot do those things. On the level we play at, there's no chance that you can make mistakes like this. And we talked, and that is why also the training camps in Spain half a year ago was very important. Because we also lost a goal against Bata Borisov, for example, in the last minute. Just because we are not fully concentrated at that moment. We lost 2 goals against Legia Gdansk in the last minutes. If you play in Europe, every goal is going to be very important. So the concentration in those games is the main part. I think we can still improve a lot of things, especially in the position game. We can do a lot better there, building up, scoring from corner kicks, scoring from free kicks. That's all kinds of things we have to work on, and I think that's a good thing. You know, Wisła changed a lot of players. There was only 3 players in the main 11 who were playing here last year, and so we can book a lot of progress with these players. Making a team again, seeing if we can have how many new players we can have in the team, and to find a good solution to play for Champions League, to compete for Champions League football. And that is the main thing. I'm very happy that I can start with the team now. Of course, the pre-season last year was not so good. What I heard from my assistants, there were only 12 players, there were a lot of problems, a lot of new players coming in. So it took a while to make a team out of it. So I hope in this pre-season that we can have a team faster than we did. And you can see what happens when Wisła is a team. Then we're almost unstoppable. And my next dream is qualifying, of course, for Champions League. That would be not only for Wisła, but of course for all our fans, for the owner, but for the whole Polish football, would be a very, very big thing. And I think everybody hopes that we can do well, and that will be the biggest dream at the moment.